Hey, welcome back. This is Yehudit Steinberg, certified Zentangle teacher, and I am instructing you this year with the Inktober Tangles 2022. Each day we are learning a new pattern and the step out, and then we're putting it on a mandala. We're at day 16, and we are working on DINOVEL. And this is a really, it's a beautiful little blossom tangle. I'm really loving it. I was amazed at how it came out. I had to practice it quite a bit to get that feeling that I was looking down in that flower, which is the picture that Susan Yo, CZT, she's the one that created this pattern. So I've been asked several times, when you see this name underneath the pattern, what we have in Zentangle is that we have artists that create their own pattern. Yes, sometimes I record in a studio that really isn't closed off from the rest of the house, and life does happen. So let's continue on. So this is DINOVEL, and it's a real fun tangle to do. What we do on these videos is part one is we create the step out, so we know how, so we have a record of how to create the pattern. And what I really love about this idea is that at the end of 31 days, I have all the pattern step outs, how to recreate them in a 4x6 file box. What I have done, so this is the step out that we are going to do right now. And in the beginner's guide, which there's a link in the description, there is a template that you can use to draw the step out along with me, and that at the end of the 31 days, you will be able to recreate these patterns without having to go try and find them online. And believe me, it is a little bit difficult. So if you do want to find some of the other step outs for these patterns that we're doing each day and have the list of the patterns each day, get the beginner's guide, download it, and the links in the description. So now let's go to the head over to the studio, gather your materials, your pens and pencil. We're basically using the same ones that we have in previous videos. If this is your first time listening to and drawing with me, listen to the introductory video, and it gives you kind of a background. Now, this is the mandala that also there is a template in the beginner's guide with 31 spaces to fill in a pattern a day, and we are half done. This little pretty blossom is going to go over here in the mandala. We're working on, this is this week is where we're putting our tangles, but they're not necessarily in order. So let's move over to the step out. Evening is befalling here, and I'm hoping that we'll be able to move through this video with enough light and not too much shadow. But that it's getting darker earlier, and that's the way it is. So the way we start is I'm working on a 4x6 card with a stencil that was made specifically for step outs. Zentangle has its way of doing step outs to make it so that oops. Oh, sorry about that, folks. All right. We won't do that again. We'll just move this over. So I'm going to use a Micron PN to draw the template for the step out. So I just started my YouTube channel. I've been wanting to do it for a long time, but well, you know how that goes. I wasn't quite sure if I would be able to do a decent video, and I think that I'm still learning and improving on the way I present for you. So stay with me, and these videos will be continuing throughout the year. I'm planning on doing, after October, a video a week. So here's our step out, and this is the pattern that we're going to draw. And our patterns all start with, well, first of all, let's start with putting the name and the date, the day. So this is DINOVEL. I believe that's how it's pronounced. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing. One of my students, we have there's a pattern, and I love the pattern, and I couldn't figure out how to pronounce it, and I was like ISEA-U, and she said, you know, I think they're pronouncing it ICU, and it makes so much sense. So you know, I'm learning as we're going. This is unrehearsed. I don't edit my videos typically, because if I needed to edit them, this is not perfect, then they wouldn't happen, because it takes a lot of time to but this is hopefully you are getting the idea, and that these videos are working for you. I timestamp the step out and the mandala in case you don't want to go through the step out, so you can skip over that part. So the way we start our step outs is we start with a contrasting color. I typically, it was red. I'm using this hot pink. I don't know exactly what the color is called, but it's a Statler Tri+5 liner, and that's what I'm using. And we're going to start with a kind of a petal shape here. Then we're going to get our black pen and go to step 2. In step 2, we're going to make that circle with the black. And then what we're going to do is add 2 petals. One on this side and one on this side. Okay, simple, orbs, circle. All of Zentangle approved patterns have no more than 6 steps of an elemental line or shape. This is an orb. So they're made with that in mind. And what we add on this step is we're working on creating these 3 little inside petals, and then we're going to put some caps on it. So we're going to take our I think we're going to give it a little wiggly line up here. And a wiggly line over here. And a little wiggly line over there. And then now we're going to move on to step 4. And we've got our draw our 3 petals. Put the little caps on them. And now we'll do the next step is the larger petals. And they're kind of specific where you attach them. I think that's the key to this pattern. So I'm going to start, I'm going to go from the middle here. There. And then I'm going to jump on the other side. And I'm going to give us a petal there. And I'm going to come underneath and give it a petal there. That's all there is to that one. Now we'll move on to step 5, which is basically the last step to make this pattern. And then what you see here are my embellishments, because I put an extra petal, which I will do on the mandala, but not in Step Out. Because it's, we would call that a variation. Putting our little cap. Then we're going to make our outer petal here. And over here. And under here. Oh, that's a little sloppy. But it doesn't matter, because it'll at the end it'll all work out. There'll be plenty of opportunities to fix the lines if you don't like them. So we put some squigglies here. We're going to put these squigglies here and add a few little of these stems. Well, I'm gonna pause for a second because I got the family coming in. So let me. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna draw the whole thing here. This almost reminds me that it could be like a pansy with the shape. Okay. Okay, now going to then you blacken in or color in this area. And also here. Now, I'm not going to color this all in on my step out, but you do it on yours because I want to get over to the mandala. I don't want this video to be too long. And I think you can figure out how to finish up this step out. And we are going to move along to the mandala. So gather your supplies, and we're going to move now to part 2, the mandala for day 16, DINOVEL by Susan Yo, the pattern maker of this pattern. So this is the mandala template that you get with your beginner's guide. So the link's in the description if you want to join us in this. And if you're watching this later on, after Inktober, no problem, because it's really ongoing, and you can download, you can start now. And I have a couple of students that are doing that. So let's jump into the studio again. And I will pull up the mandala. So yes, on our last video, we did Noom, and I didn't finish it, but this is what it looks like. And now we're going to put this pattern right in here. I like to sometimes start with a, I'm actually thinking that I'm going to put it in this one. I think it would fit better here. So I'm going to turn my paper a little bit, and I'm going to sketch it in as if it were a string. And then, so every time you do this, it's a little bit different. It becomes a mystery. It's one line at a time. I'm just following the steps. So now I'm going to come with my pen, and we'll go from there. Okay. Colors in. Now, there are a few other videos. I didn't find many other patterns online, but there are a few videos that are being created. So I'm sure you can find them to take a look and see what people are doing to be creative with this pattern. I'm going to give it some. And I'm going to give this a now. Okay. Other thing. Well, I do want to come in, and I'm going to come in and I'm going to create the blossom here. And I'm going to create another petal here. And I'm going to make it like it's going to be running off of the paper there. So I'm going to need to work on this a little bit. And I'll be back and show you what I came up with. Right now, you're seeing and I don't really want to rush the finish of this because it's a little bit different than this guy, this one. Every time I draw it, it's a little different, but I want to spend a little time reflecting and seeing how I can make this really pop. And I've put the basic pattern in there, and you can see how our mandala is starting to fill up and what it'll be like once we're finished. So I'm going to send you off to see what other people have done with this pattern. And tomorrow, or the next video I do, is Lollywimple. And that almost looks like, I looked at that and I thought, well, maybe it's a centipede, or maybe it's a kind of reminded me of the costume of the Chinese lion dancers, and how they or the dragon. Yeah, so who knows, but come back for the next to learn how to do that pattern, and grab the beginner's guide and get your emails. The link's in the description. Hey, don't forget to subscribe. I'm doing a campaign. I want to thank all of the subscribers. I have 60 subscribers in like 2 weeks. I am so appreciative and grateful for all of you. And I'm looking for a few more. YouTube has 100. Once I get 100 subscribers, then I can shorten and have a custom name for the link to this to my channel. So I'd really like to do that by the end of this challenge. And so if you feel in your heart that you'd like to subscribe, hey, subscribe and ring the bell, and see you on the next video. Thank you so much for listening and coming and participating.